My name is Carson Wheeler. I'm 19 years old. I'm from Austin, Texas. I officially joined the RCA in late February of this year. So I was in high school. It was my senior year. I mean, my whole life I knew that capitalism sucks. I remember even in the 2016 election when I was pretty young. I was like in elementary school, but I knew Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Oh, they're both just terrible. What's the point of voting for either one of them? Two of the same absolute
Wow.
rich crooks that are going to ruin this country. Since then, I've ever always just wanted to know, why does capitalism suck so much, and what can I do to help it, to fix it? And eventually, as I learned more, I realized, oh, you can't fix it. I watched the rise and fall of Bernie Sanders, and by the time of 2020 with BLM movement, I saw that there was mass outrage in this country, and then even after that, nothing happened. There's totally no change that occurred, even though there was such a huge sentiment for for that to happen. It was really radical in that moment, and politicians just covered it. They painted like Black Lives Matter on the street, and then like funded the police more. So I knew there had to be some kind of change, but it really wasn't until Palestine, honestly, that I I knew that was absolutely atrocious. That was the first moment in my life where I think I really saw and felt the presence of U.S. imperialism in a war.
I want everyone to listen to me, and I want you to listen really, really closely. Donald Trump is going to radicalize more young people with his overtly, aggressively pro-Israel foreign policy than almost anything else he's going to do. His position demanding that colleges stamp out anti-Semitism or else they'll lose their federal funding and their accreditation. And by the way, Donald Trump can't take away their accreditation because the accreditation does not come from the federal government. That's not how college accreditation works. I worked in higher education for 10 years. Donald Trump doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He can't unaccredit anyone when the accrediting agencies are not directly linked to the federal government. But regardless, what Donald Trump and the conservatives believe is anti-Semitic speech has nothing to do with the Jews at all. It has to do with the fact that these are radical revolutionary leftists who believe that Israel, as the settler colonists, has nothing to do with them being Jewish. They are the settler colonists that privatized Palestinian land and stole it from the indigenous people, and the Palestinians are in the glorious uprising against the evil capitalist settler colonists. Settler colonist means capitalist. So Donald Trump saying he's going to stamp out anti-Semitic speech, when you got to remember, leftists know this is not anti-Semitic. The campus protests had Jewish people involved. There is a whole far left organization called Jewish Voices for Peace that was involved heavily, is still involved heavily in the pro-Palestine protests. Being pro-Palestine is not anti-Semitic. Being opposed to what Israel and the Zionist government does is not anti-Semitic. These people don't care if people are Jewish. This is why you need to know your enemy. Donald Trump and the federal government calling everyone who doesn't agree with Israel anti-Semitic is going to radicalize more far leftists than almost anything else he could possibly do, because this is currently one of their number one issues. It's been one of their number one issues for a year, and for what it's worth, they're right about it. It's uncomfortable to agree with socialists. It really is. But understanding that what Israel's doing is wrong, what Israel's doing to the Palestinians is wrong, this really shouldn't be a left versus right issue. It really shouldn't be. And I don't blame all the Jews for what's going on. I don't even blame all the Israeli people, because I think a lot of Israeli people are really kind of fed up with this entire situation and want it to stop. I blame the Israeli government, of which I am of no obligation to support because I am not Israeli, I'm American. And I don't believe that saying that the American government and the American people have no obligation to support Israel at all, I don't think that's anti-Semitic. And this is a human issue. And so when you have a group of people that is legitimately on the side of righteousness, getting, quite frankly, censored by Donald Trump, who is supposed to be the free speech advocate. Do you guys remember when Donald Trump mandated free speech on college campuses? And now he's coming in and saying, but not that free speech. We're in favor of free speech, except if we don't agree with it. And if we don't agree with it, we're going to try to destroy your college experience, get you expelled from college, get you banned off social media. This is going to radicalize more kids to the far left than anything else. Watch it happen. It's going to happen right in front of us because Donald Trump ain't going to back down on this. And do you know why he's not going to back down on this? Because Miriam Adelson gave him $100 million in the campaign. Donald Trump may not have nominated a lot of Jewish people to his cabinet, but he nominated aggressively pro-Zionist people to his cabinet. You don't have to be Jewish in order to be aggressively pro-Israel and aggressively Zionist. He has nominated a lot of people to his cabinet that will put the interests of Israel before the interests of America, and that includes his Secretary of Defense. That includes Tulsi Gabbard. That includes almost everyone he's nominated. And that's because Miriam Adelson gave him $100 million during the election. And Miriam Adelson is going to get her payback from investing $100 million in the election. Miriam Adelson speaks with an Israeli accent. Donald Trump's presidency is going to be an Israel first presidency. It's not going to be America first. It's going to be Israel first. And these kids know that. And they're not buying this bullshit. And when Trump comes to their college campus and tries to censor them, that's going to push all of them over to the radical revolutionary far left. Because the radical revolutionary far left are the only people that are speaking on this issue in the public space. I am fundamentally opposed to socialism. I am fundamentally opposed to communism. But I also have a fucking brain. And I can see exactly what the result of this foreign policy is going to be. And it's going to be with the left gaining more momentum, probably in Donald Trump's first year, than they gained in the last 4 years under the supposedly communist administration of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. That's reality. The left is going to recruit more people in the first year of Donald Trump's presidency than they recruited in the last 4 years, and one of the biggest drivers of that is going to be Donald Trump's policy regarding Israel. Bookmark this, clip this. We'll revisit this next year, and you can see if I'm right about this prediction.